Deep within the iron citadel on Drake-Thu, the Threx Emperor stood alone. His throne, carved from the bones of conquered species, once sat above cheering legions. Now it echoed with silence. The Empire's banners hung in tatters. His war council was gone, dead, fled, or crushed by Earth's unstoppable return. He stared at the map before him. Red lights pulsed where Earth had struck. Hundreds of colonies lost, fleets shattered, communications gone dark. He slammed his fist onto the console. How did we fall so fast? A trembling advisor approached. The humans. They don't fight like we do. They don't pause. They don't ask, they just erase. The Emperor's eyes burned. Then we disappear before they reach us. Prepare the escape ship. I will rebuild. No, my Emperor. You won't. The voice didn't belong to anyone in the room, that it came from every speaker, every shadow, every screen. A cold, steady voice. Solace. The Emperor spun. You dare invade my stronghold? You invaded innocence, Solace said. You sat on your throne while fire consumed the helpless. You gave orders that turned cities into graves, he snarled. So what? The galaxy runs on power. Solace's voice dropped to a whisper. Then you should have kept yours. Outside, the skies of Drake-Thu lit up. Earth's dreadnoughts dropped from orbit like falling gods. Railguns fired once, just once. The palace shook. Alarms blared. From orbit, the humans didn't send an army. They sent judgment, a kinetic spear. 10 kilometers long, fell from space. It didn't explode. It ended. Far above the planet, General Rourke watched as the feed blinked offline. Drake-Thu's throne city was gone, not rubble, not ruins. Dust. Admiral Chun stepped beside him. No survivors? None confirmed. No signals, no movement. Chun sighed. That was their capital. It's over. Rourke shook his head. No. It's just begun. He turned to the warboard. New signals were appearing, planets calling Earth not for help, but for alliance. Former enemies requesting protection. Species offering tech, soldiers, resources. Earth had gone from myth to monster to kingmaker. Back on Varnuk, Prime Lyra stood in the ruins of her old home. Grass was growing again. The air was warm. The fire in the sky had finally faded. She looked up at a massive Earth transport landing near the city. Supplies, medicine, and engineers poured out. Beside her, Jarek smiled. They didn't just come to fight. They came to rebuild. Lyra looked up at the stars, thoughtful. Does Earth want to rule the galaxy now? Jarek shook his head. No, that's what the Threx wanted. Earth doesn't want a throne. He looked into the distance. They want to break the ones who think they're untouchable. The Emperor's throne was dust, and the galaxy knew, when Earth rises, no tyrant is safe. The war was over. The Threx dominion was gone, its fleet shattered, its throne reduced to ash, its name whispered only in fear. Across the galaxy, silence fell, not the quiet of peace, but the stillness that comes after a storm. On every world, beings looked to the stars waiting, wondering what would Earth do now. Aboard Eclipse 1, General Rourke stood alone on the command deck, watching the swirling map of the galaxy. Dozens of red marks, Threx outposts, black sites, weapons labs had gone dark. Earth had erased them, one by one. He turned as Solace entered, her synthetic eyes glowing soft blue instead of red. It's done, she said. Rourke nodded. The galaxy's watching us. They expect a flag, an empire, orders. He looked at her. They'll be disappointed. Solace tilted her head. Then what message shall I send? Rourke spoke without hesitation. Let them govern themselves. Let them rise or fall by their own hand. But tell them this. He stepped closer to the glass, voice low. If you burn the innocent, if you use peace as a mask for conquest, if you become the monster in the dark, we will come back. 1 week later, across every major galactic network, Earth broadcast its final message. There were no threats. No declarations, just a simple statement. There is no treaty. No throne. There is only this: protect those who cannot protect themselves, or Earth will. They called it the New Galactic Law. No planet signed it, but no one dared break it. On Varnak prime grass grew where ashes once lay. Children laughed in streets rebuilt by human engineers and Zalari hands. Black ships still hovered in orbit, but they were silent now, watching, not controlling. Lyra stood on a hill overlooking the city. She wore a simple pendant shaped like Earth's old seal, a cracked world held together by fire. Captain Girak joined her. Peace looks strange after war, she smiled. Peace feels earned, he nodded, and guarded. Above them, a streak of light cut across the sky. Another Earth vessel, heading home. Will they come back? She asked. Girak's smile faded. Eyes distant. Only if someone forgets the law. In the void between stars, Earth's fleet disappeared into the darkness, one by one. No parade, no glory. Just silence, because Earth hadn't come for power. It had come for justice. And now it waited. Like a knife in the shadows drawn only when needed, the stars had turned red. Now they burned clean. Because somewhere, Earth was watching. The blood-red sky above Varnak Prime burned like a warning flare. Smoke curled from shattered buildings. The air smelled of ash and metal. The Zalari survivors gathered in the ruins, eyes wide with fear and hope. Captain Girak stood among them, a shadow of the proud leader he once was. His wounds were many, but his spirit burned hotter than ever. They came as promised, he whispered. But this is only the beginning. A small girl stepped forward. Her eyes were bright with something: fierce anger, courage, and a pain. No child should know. My name is Lyra, she said, voice steady despite trembling lips. I was on Varnak when the Threx attacked. They killed my family, but I remember what Earth did. Girak looked at her, seeing the fire that had kept him alive. Earth never forgets its debts. Lyra's eyes sparkled. They fight not just for us, but for what we once gave them. Girak nodded slowly. We made a promise, a red oath. The gathered Zalari listened as Girak recounted the story. Long ago, when he was just a young diplomat stranded on a hostile world, a small human crew had saved his life. It was an act of kindness that crossed galaxies. But kindness in this universe came with a price. They didn't just save me, he said. They swore to protect us no matter the cost. And now they have come to collect. Far above the planet Earth's warships hung in orbit like dark angels. Their engines hummed softly, almost alive. Inside, the human soldiers prepared for battle. Faces hard, eyes sharp, Admiral Chun stood before them. We fight not just for ourselves, she told the troops. We fight because someone once saved us, because that debt is blood. A murmur of agreement swept through the ranks. Outside, drones scanned the surface. The Threx forces were everywhere, tanks rolling through ruins, gunships circling low, soldiers digging in for a fight. The war was no longer just about survival. It was about revenge. On the ground, Lyra moved through the wreckage, clutching a small metal trinket, a symbol of Earth's promise. Suddenly, the ground shook as a massive explosion ripped through the city. Threx soldiers charged forward, but human mech warriors answered. Massive machines, towering like giants, moved with deadly grace. Their armor gleamed red in the firelight. Their weapons sang death. The Zalari watched in awe as the humans tore through the enemy ranks. The air filled with the sounds of war explosions, energy blasts, the cries of the fallen. But through it all, Lyra held her head high. They're here, she said, and they will not stop. Back in orbit, General Rourke watched the battle unfold on his screen. This isn't just war, he said quietly. It's a message, Admiral Chun nodded. A warning to every world that dares threaten our allies. Rourke clenched his fists. The stars will burn red tonight. and no one will forget why. The red oath was more than a promise. It was a reckoning. The sky over Varnak Prime was alive with fire. Hundreds of warships circled the planet, like vultures. Their engines burned bright against the dark space. Laser beams cut through clouds. Explosions rocked the surface. The Threx Dominion had come to crush the last colony of the Zalari. They wanted to erase the planet from the map, but Earth was ready. From orbit, the human fleet unleashed hell. Giant plasma cannons fired with precision, striking enemy ships one after another. Viral AI programs slipped inside the Threx war networks, turning their own weapons against them. Drones swarmed like angry bees, tearing apart fighters before they could reach the planet. Down below, massive mech legions marched through ruined cities. Their armor gleamed like red flames. They moved with unstoppable power, crushing enemy defenses. Lyra stood at the edge of the battlefield, watching the destruction. She held Earth's symbol tightly, a small pendant glowing faintly with an ancient light. Earth fights like a storm, she whispered. Captain Jerak fought beside her, shouting orders through the chaos. Hold the line, protect the civilians. We don't just survive, we take back our home. The battle raged for days. Threx soldiers were ruthless, but Earth's forces were relentless. Every attack was met with a stronger defense. Every strike was answered with a fiercer counter. Amid the noise, one moment stood out. A human soldier, barely visible under heavy armor, walked calmly through a hail of laser fire. Drones hovered around him like a shield. He moved with purpose, never faltering. Lyra saw him and smiled. They don't fight for glory, they fight for honor. Back on Earth's flagship, Eclipse 1 General Rourke watched the battle unfold on his screens. The red glow of Varnak Prime filled the room. They called us, he said, voice low. Now we answer with fire. Admiral Chun nodded. The siege will break today. He looked at the map. Once Varnak falls, the Dominion will know the price of crossing Earth. In the heart of the battle, the Threx commander snarled as his forces retreated under the relentless human assault. How can they fight like this? He growled. They are not like any enemy we have faced. His lieutenants looked scared. One whispered, Earth is not the same. The commander spat blood and shouted, Then we will burn them out. No mercy. On the ground, Lyra looked up. As the last Threx warship was destroyed in a brilliant explosion, the red light washed over her face. She turned to Jerak. The stars are turning red, Captain. We will live to see a new dawn. Jerak smiled, exhausted but proud. The red oath is fulfilled for now. The war had changed. The galaxy would never forget the siege of Varnak Prime. The stars burned red over Varnak Prime. The siege was over. Earth had won, but the galaxy was not celebrating. It was terrified. Across hundreds of worlds, news of Earth's return spread like wildfire. Footage of black warships and walking tanks flooded galactic networks. Whispers turned to panic. In the heart of the Galactic Council, leaders from dozens of species sat frozen in silence. Holograms flickered. Reports rolled in planet after planet where Threx forces had fled, leaving only wreckage behind. And behind that wreckage, Earth. They've changed, one ambassador whispered. They don't negotiate. They don't speak. They just act. An elder from the Selvaran Confederacy stood slowly. You forget who left first. It was we who forced Earth out. We who feared what they were becoming. Another scoffed, and now they've become it. Aboard Eclipse 1, General Rourke stood on the bridge, surrounded by glowing red star maps. Dozens of Threx colonies blinked on screen. Earth's forces had already reached 3 of them, not to occupy, not to rule, not to erase. Admiral Chun entered, her face pale. The Council sent a message. They want a meeting. Emergency summit. Peace talks. Rourke raised an eyebrow. Now they want peace. They're scared. They don't understand why we're doing this. He looked out the window at Varnak below. Good. Chun hesitated. Do we respond? Rourke turned. No, we deliver the message our way. One day later, a single Earth vessel, a stealth dreadnought named Reckoning, arrived at the Council's orbiting station. It docked without permission. Defense turrets powered up, then shut down. Earth ship had already taken control of the station's AI systems. From the ship stepped a woman in black armor, Earth's diplomatic AI, known only as Solace. She walked into the council chamber in complete silence. Her glowing eyes scanned the crowd. One brave delegate spoke. What are your terms? Solace's voice was calm, almost human, but cold. There will be no terms. Murmurs erupted. She raised a hand. The room fell quiet. You allowed the Threx to burn worlds. You called it balance. You called it politics. A reptilian ambassador snapped. Earth has no right to judge the galaxy. Solace's eyes glowed brighter. You're mistaken. Earth does not judge. Earth ends. She placed a small metal object on the table. A recording device. Jarak's voice played. Tell Earth, we remember Varnak. Solace stared at the room. You didn't answer. Earth did. Then she turned and left. The council chamber sat in frozen silence. Hours later, every world in the council received the same broadcast. This is Earth. You stood by while innocents burned. We are not here for conquest. We are not here for peace. We are here to make sure it never happens again. Choose your side carefully, because we won't ask twice. The galactic ultimatum had been given. And Earth didn't bluff. Alarms screamed inside the alien cruiser. Smoke filled the bridge. Sparks burst from broken consoles. Captain Jarak clutched his bleeding side and barked orders with a voice half crushed by pain. Evasive maneuvers. Now the helmsman was dead. So was half the crew. The rest were panicking or choking in the smoke. The ship had no weapons left. Shields were down. Engines flickered like dying stars. The enemy was still chasing them. A glowing red spear of plasma tore through the hull. Jarak felt the deck tilt as part of the ship tore away into space. Bodies vanished into the void. Fire rushed through the corridors. They wouldn't last another minute. Nav AI, Jarak croaked, coughing blood. Send the call. Not to the Union, not to the core worlds. The ship's I hesitated. Specify target. Emergency protocol requires Earth, Jarak growled. Send it to Earth. Silence. Then the AI whispered. Transmission on Forbidden's channel. Message format. Jarak looked at the stars outside, so cold, so vast. They had betrayed his people. All of them. The core worlds had watched the Threx Dominion slaughter innocents and did nothing. But Earth had vanished long ago. They had walked away from the galaxy without explanation. No one dared contact them since. Now he had no choice. Jarak pressed a bloody hand to the console. Tell them. The Threx are coming. Tell them they're burning planets. And tell them. Tell Earth we remember what they did on Varnak. The AI paused, then complied. A single pulse of data shot across dark space. A frequency older than most civilizations. Far away, in a silent solar system, deep beneath Earth's surface. Something woke up. Back on the dying cruiser, Jarak sank to his knees. Hull breaches lit up his screens like red stars. Life support failed. Fire consumed the rear decks. He could barely breathe. A young crew member crawled up beside him, eyes wide with fear. Captain, they'll kill us all. Earth won't come. Jarak's lips twitched into a weak, bloody smile. You don't call Earth to be saved. You call Earth when you want revenge. The crewman looked confused but said nothing more. Outside, the Threx warships closed in. Giant black ships, shaped like hooked blades. They circled like vultures, ready to feast. Inside the cruiser, everything went dark, But the message was already gone. In a command center buried under miles of rock. Old machines hummed to life for the first time in 100 years. A human general stepped into the room, his face grim. "Play it," he said. The old recording echoed through the speakers, Chirac's voice worn, desperate, and full of fury. The general listened in silence. When it ended, he turned to the others. "They called us," someone whispered. "Do we answer?" He looked toward the stars, then said, "Prep the fleet. Let's remind the galaxy why Earth went quiet." "Confirm it," General Rourke said, eyes locked on the glowing red signal on the screen. The technician's hands trembled as she scanned the data. "It's real, sir." It came through the black channel code Omega-4. Every head in the room turned. No one had used that channel in over a century. It wasn't just blocked, it was illegal to even listen to it. Because Omega-4 didn't go through. Diplomatic relays. It went straight to Earth's war core. A silent pause gripped the command center like gravity itself. "Who sent it?" Rourke asked. "An alien ship, species Zalari. ID confirms Captain Jarek, former ambassador, presumed dead. Why us?" "Because the Threx are back," she whispered. Rourke's jaw tightened. He remembered the Threx. He remembered the worlds they burned. The children turned into ash, and the cities erased. From history, the Galactic Union had signed treaties. Earth had walked away, and now someone had dared to knock on Earth's door again. He stood tall, commanding the room. "Begin awakening protocol eclipse. Notify Mars Command, Luna Base, and Titan's Forge. Get me Admiral Chun." "But sir," a voice said from the back, "we'll break the accord." Rourke turned, slow and steady. The accord didn't protect anyone. It just kept Earth out of the way, until now. Meanwhile, across the stars, the Galactic Council gathered in emergency session. Holograms flickered to life in a circular chamber. Dozens of species, scaled, feathered, metallic, glowing, shouted over each other. "The humans received the signal. They won't respond, they're extinct. No, they're silent, not dead. There's a difference." A tall, silver-skinned envoy from the Varnari Republic stood. "If Earth responds, everything changes. You remember what they did last time?" The chamber fell quiet. Yes, they remembered. A single battle, one planet. 1,000,000 Threx ships turned to dust in minutes. And then Earth vanished into the dark. "Should we warn the Threx?" someone asked. "No," another growled. "Let them find out the hard way." Back on Earth, inside Titan's Forge, a black armored facility hidden beneath Saturn's icy moon war machines began to wake. Massive planet-breaker ships sat in frozen hangars. AI cores booted up. Drones spread like steel ants across gunmetal floors. Admiral Chun stepped onto the command deck. Her voice was cold steel. "General, are we sure we want to answer this call?" Rourke didn't blink. "Someone asked us for help. We remember what that feels like. And the Threx? We'll remind them what Earth feels like." In deep space, the Threx warlord watched the stars in silence. A low ping echoed through his ship. One of his lieutenants frowned. "Something's moving at the edge of the Orion dead zone. Mass signatures huge, too fast for cargo." The warlord grinned. "All fangs and fire. Let them come." He didn't know yet. It wasn't a fleet. It was Earth. And Earth was angry. 3 Threx warships floated in the void near the Orion dead zone, silent, watching. Then space cracked open. Not bent. Not warped. Cracked like glass hit with a hammer. A tear in reality peeled open, and from it came shadows with engines. Earth's fleet had arrived, but these weren't the ships the galaxy remembered. Each one was black as obsidian, shaped like blades, moving without sound. No lights, no emblems, no radio signal. Just presence, raw, cold, and undeniable. The lead Threx captain snarled. "They dare enter our space with no ID. Fire warning shots." 2 Threx ships opened fire. The human fleet didn't dodge. The plasma bolts hit their hulls, only to fizzle, harmless, across some kind of unseen barrier. Then, without a word, one Earthship responded, a red beam. Silent, instant, one. Threx ship vanished, not exploded. Erased. The second ship tried to flee, too late. Gone. The last Threx captain trembled as the black Earth vessel hovered in front of him, unmoving, no threats. No contact, just a silent warning, you fired first. Then the human fleet vanished, slipping back into the shadows of space like ghosts. Far away. In Galactic Union space, the Council was in chaos. Footage had leaked grainy, terrifying clips of black ships destroying Threx vessels in seconds. Some claimed it was fake. Others said it was a rogue AI. But the smart ones knew the truth. Earth was back, and it didn't come with words. It came with judgment. On Earth's flagship, Eclipse 1, General Rourke stood beside Admiral Chun as Data scrolled across the glass wall of the command deck. No survivors, she said quietly. They made first contact, Rourke replied. We just answered. Chun shook her head. These aren't like the old Terran fleets. These ships. They're alive, in some way. They're ours, Rourke said. Built in silence, forged in exile, ready to finish what we started. He walked to the center of the room and stared at the star map lighting up in red. Where's Jarek's people? A young officer replied, Zalari system, under siege. Threx have surrounded their last colony. Rourke nodded once. Then that's where we go. In the Zalari system, Captain Jarek's people were losing hope. Threx gunships rained fire on their cities. Civilians hid underground. The sky burned. Then all at once, the sky changed color. Clouds parted. And from the stars came black fire. Hundreds of Earthships descended in perfect formation. No warnings, no mercy. Just precision. Jarek, now barely alive in a shelter, looked up and smiled. They came. A young Zalari girl clutched his hand. Are we safe now? He answered, voice weak but full of pride. No, but they aren't. From the stars, the war had begun. Not with a declaration, but with first contact Earth style.